All right, I think I've got it. Move it over a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm going the wrong direction. Okay. I think I might just leave well enough alone and we'll go on with our cards. I'm hoping everybody was able to get here again. I'm just going to give a moment for everybody to come back. All right, this is take 3. I might just stop showing myself and just go directly to my tabletop and not even show me, because seems like that's when I have the problems, is when I switch it. So I'm just going to wait a moment for everybody to get back here. We're going to be running late today. Instead of 10:30, it looks like it's going to be more like 11. Hi, Deborah. Is that any better? All this technical stuff is giving me fits today. Still looks like it wants to pixate a little bit. But, yeah, it's much better. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get started because I've spent a half hour messing with this thing. And like I said in my description, it's going to be a Sale-a-Bration kind of day, which is I'm going to be using all Sale-a-Bration items. And with our, oops, let me get this cord out of the way. We don't need to be looking at that. Well, it's still in the way. I used the Stylish Sketches stamp set. And I did 3 cards with them, but I'm going to switch it out and I'm going to use the note cards instead. And here's the Thinking of You with the Ducks. And just a note with the leaf image. So we're going to start with those. I'm going to do them fairly quick because they're all pretty much the same. But I'm using the note cards, which are the basic white note cards and envelopes. And you can find those at our annual catalog. And let me get my things out of here. I've already layered my things, so these are the envelopes. And we'll get 3 of the card bases. And I think I might have already started one. No, maybe not. Yes, I did. Okay. So I've got a layer of the basic white, which is 3 1/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches, and a basic gray, which is going to be our matte, which is 3 3/8 inches by 4 7/8 inches. And the note cards measure 7 by 5 inches, and then they're scored in the middle at 3 1/2 inches. So we're going to go ahead and burnish that. And I even cleaned my bone folder this morning. It was so bad. So nice clean bone folder to use today. So we're going to go ahead and glue our gray layers down to our card. And I think I'm going to do these assembly line card. I'm going to do all my card bases just to save a little time, hopefully. And I apologize for all those technical problems. Like I said, I think next week I'm just going to start out not even showing my face. I'm going to just put it down on my tabletop so I show that. So maybe I won't have so many technical problems. I don't know. Seems like when I move the camera is when I have a problem. So that might solve it, I hope. It's so frustrating. Okay. Score that one, and we'll come back and score this one. I grabbed one too many. And these little note cards are an okay size to mail too, so there shouldn't be a problem with that. It's just that they're a little smaller than our basic cards are. Alright, so we don't want to mix all this up. That goes with that. This gray one goes on the card base. And get that as straight as I can. You know, that's my trademark, is having things crooked. And the other one here. I guess I glued that one down already. Okay, I'm ahead of myself on that. So it's this one here. I grabbed the wrong one. See, I'm flustered. When things don't go right, it throws me all off. I guess I shouldn't let it bother me. Okay. They're still chomping those trees out there yet, so I don't know if you can hear that in the background or not. Okay, so we got all three mats on the card bases. So let's come back in and we're going to do some of our stamping, which we've got the fox, the tree branch, and the little ducks. And we're going to use basic gray ink pad to stamp these with. And we'll start with the ducks first. And I'm just going to stamp it right in the middle of our cardstock. Maybe up a little bit so we can fit the sentiment on there. And I didn't get my sentiments out for these. Alright. And our branch, which I need to make sure it's going the right direction. And our fox. And I didn't color any of these. I just left them like they are. I thought it was kind of a clean look. Okay. And I may have to clean those to use our sentiments. Which come from the Go-To Greetings. And I'm going to do a thinking of you, just a note, and happy birthday. Alright, so we're going to grab our block. Now, I may have to clean off one. I don't have an extra block here. No. Okay, thinking of you. I guess it doesn't matter which one I put it on. So we're just going to put this one on the fox, thinking of you. And yeah, we'll do it this way. I've got a larger one there. Let's do this one. Just a note. Well, we'll put that on the tree branch. And then happy birthday we'll put on the little ducks. Alright, those aside. And then I have a little one that's for little spots. And I think I stamped off on these, so I'm going to bring in a scrap paper. Maybe. Yeah. And we'll stamp off, and then we'll kind of add some spots here and there just to get rid of the white brightness here with the paper. Alright, and maybe another one right down here. I hope everybody found me again after all the technical problems here. And one in that corner. And then we'll do the tree branch the same. I think that's enough on that one. Okay. So we'll close up our ink pad. Let's get my notes there. And we can start attaching these to our card fronts and make sure I've got them all going the right direction. We don't have any upside down critters. I'll start with a fox. So I hope you've been able to take advantage of the Sale-a-Bration items before they're over with and before they're gone, because they're while supplies last. And like I said, that 2 items have sold out, so if there's anything on your wish list, you probably need to do it sooner than later, so you don't miss out. I love Sale-a-Bration this time of the year. It used to be we only did 1 a year, but Stampin' Up! Has changed it, so they're doing 2 a year now, so twice as much fun. And there we go. So very simple, and like you've seen, that 3 cards came together fairly fast, so so that's our first item. And like I said, that came with the stamp set Stylish Sketches, and that's a Sale-a-Bration item. That's a $50 item also. So we'll set that aside, and we'll go on to our next one. Let me move some of these inky stamps out of my way so I don't stick my fingers in them, make a mess. Alright, and then another one, which is cute, is the Hippest Hippos. And you get the stamp set with a $50 purchase, but then you can also add the hippo dies for another $50 purchase. So a really cute set. And this is what we're going to be making with the hippos today. Let me get my instructions out of there. This little card, it says, "Love you a ton." And then on the inside it says, "Oh, you really are the best." So that's our next project. And let me get all my bits and pieces over here. I've done a lot of the die cutting and everything ahead of time, so hopefully I'll save a little time. The comments aren't coming up. There we go. Hi, Amber. Okay, no problem. I had a late start, so really I didn't get started until 11 o'clock. You just missed the first card. Um, Good morning, Becky. Glad you're able to join. Facebook was giving me a fit. First I had it up and I had all kinds of pixelating going on, so I stopped the video and restarted it. And then I couldn't get it wanted to go with portrait instead of landscape, so I had to shut down again. So technical problems. It's the life of Debbie in creating cards, I guess. Okay, so we have our basic thick white, and that's 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches, and it's scored in the middle at 5 1/2 inches. So we're going to set that aside for a moment. And then I've got our designer series paper, which comes from the Settles 6x6 paper, and we're using this design. And I've already die cut using the split card textures dies, and this is a 2-pack. It comes with 2, and I've already cut that out already, so you don't have to sit and watch me on that. Let me put this die back in here so I don't lose it. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and attach that to our card front. And I'm just using my Tombow glue. It's my favorite adhesive, my go-to. And a little bit on these edges to hold them down. Hopefully I don't get my fingers too much. Oops. Stay on the paper dib. And an extra layer right along that edge. And put that onto our card front. And get it all even with a little border going around it. It's not real straight, but it's going to have to do because I don't think I can pick it off there again. Okay, and I'm going to bring our baby boss over here because we're going to do some embossing. And I think we've got to use it to die cut something too. So we're going to use a different plate here, which is the number 4, and it says to use number 4 and a number 1, which is where? I didn't have that one out here. Can I reach it? Yes, okay. So number 1, our folder, which we're using the Splatters 3D embossing folder. And this is a 2-pack. You get the splatters and the stripes in a pack. And I'm using just basic black cardstock, which I've punched out using our, what is it called? The decorative circle punch. But I've already punched that out already. I've already put it into our folder. So let's run this through our baby boss, and we'll get that embossed. Let me straighten that up. There we go. Oops. And I'm hoping I don't jiggle too much. Alright. You can set those aside. Alright, so here we have it embossed. And I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up really well. I'll set baby boss over there. I guess it's showing it a little bit. It's got the splatters. And on mine I use the pink, but I'm going to use the black here because I think it showed up a little bit more. And we're going to skip a little bit, and we're going to stamp our hippo. She's holding a flower. And I'm going to use the black Memento ink. Alright. might also stamp the sentiment while we're at it, which says, "Love you a ton." And we can die cut both of them at the same time after we color our hippo. If you all aren't able to stay here for the whole program, feel free to rewatch the replay later. And I'm hoping if I don't have any complications, I'll be putting this on to YouTube also later today. So that would be another option. You could watch it on there if you didn't want to watch it on Facebook. Alright, so my blends, I've got the dark sweet sorbet. I've got the light and dark gray granite. And the light and dark petal pink. So we're going to color our Miss Hippo here. And I'm going to start with the dark gray granite. And we're just going to kind of do some shading with the dark. And then we'll come back in with the light and blend it all together. It's hard to talk and color at the same time. I guess that's what you call multitasking. Okay, a little bit on her arms here. Okay, so I think I'm going to do the rest with the light. So is everybody doing well today? I was sitting outside a little bit this morning, but it got kind of warm, so I came back in. I guess we're not done with summer yet. Okay, and I'll color her arms, but I want to leave her fingernails. I'm going to paint those with the sweet sorbet and her toenails. After all, she is a girl. And it is summertime, so she's got to have pretty toes. Okay. Yeah, it was my birthday last Thursday, so I didn't do a whole lot for it. The hubby took me out to lunch. We went to Olive Garden, which is one of my favorite places. We hadn't ate for a long time. So that was good. Enjoyed it. And I did get new glasses, I guess, so I did that. Alright, and we're going to use the petal pink. I'm going to start with the dark, and I'm going to outline his ears, her ears a little bit, and the insides of her ears. And just going to kind of go around the edge of her snout. And then we'll come back in with the light and blend it all together. And also a little bit on her belly. I'm just going to do the one side dark and then the other side a lighter. And blend them both together. Okay, and a little bit on this side of her belly. Okay. I'm sorry, Amber. Yeah, I was having problems this morning. Okay, we're going to color the flower with the sweet sorbet, dark, and her toenails and fingernails. And I got to grab one more blend here. I want to use my Parakeet Party to do the leaf with. Okay. Alright, now we can bring in our dies and our baby boss, and we'll die cut these. And to find the right one here, I think it's this one. Nope, it's the wrong one. This one? No. Well, that's always the last one I try here. Well, I think I've got mixed up here. That's not it, because that's the one that's dancing. It's got to be this one. Oh, I guess I had it upside down. There we go. Had it right the first time. I'll put those in there, and then I'm going to grab my Stylish Shapes dies, and we're going to cut that banner out. And it's the smallest one in here, which is right here. All my dies have come off of the sheet here. I need to get a magnetic sheet and put them on, I guess. Got a mess. Okay. Bring our baby boss and our cutting plates, which I'll use this one. Oops. Okay. Well, I'm thinking that's the one I use all the time. It's supposed to be the white plate, but I don't like how that one grabs. This one works a little bit better. So let me get these placed down here. And I think I might stick them down so they don't move. Trucks are noisy going by. Okay, a little bit of washi tape to hold you down. And here's our banner. Alright. Oops, that one moved. I need to go back in there and hold that down. I'm shaking my paper here. Alright, she cut out good, but my banner moved on me, so I'm going to do that one over. Because I should have stuck it down. There, that should hold it. Okay. Alright, we can set her aside. I'm sure messing up my paper here. I had a glue dot holding it, but I don't know where that went. It disappeared on me. Set our plates aside. Okay, there's our banner. Don't lose my die. I'm going to put these in my dish over here so I don't lose them. Okay, so now we can start assembling. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue onto this to hold it down. And we're going to place that half and half. Half over the scalloped edge and then half over the solid edge. And I'm going to put our little girl up on dimensionals. And get my take your pick tool to pop those off easier. And I've cut my dimensionals in half to kind of make them go farther. They work just as well as a whole one, so it's maybe a little tip that you might want to use. We're all into saving money, especially when we're on fixed incomes like we are. We're on Social Security, so where I can save money, I'll do it. And I'm going to kind of put her off to the side, so she's kind of off of that label. And our label, I'm just going to glue it directly down. I'm not going to put that on dimensionals. And we're going to place that at kind of an angle. And then I've die cut some little flowers that we're going to use. I think I'm going to use one little one and two bigger ones. So we'll save this one for another project later. And we're just going to place those up on the top of our scalloped die cut. And no particular place, I just, wherever you want to put them is fine. Oh, and the paper that I'm using is a Blushing Bride. I guess I didn't say that ahead of time. And I didn't give the dimensions on the Designer Series paper, which was 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And then I die cut this top corner out using that, what were they called? Yeah, using the split card texture dies. I drew a blank there for a minute. Okay, so now we're going to grab our mini dots, mini glue dots, and I've already cut a bow and tied it already. This is from the gray granite. And it's the shimmer ribbon gray granite. That's in our annual catalog. And we're just going to put a bow at the bottom. So I'm going to grab my take your pick tool and we're going to kind of roll that glue dot a little bit because we don't want it showing underneath. And I'm just going to place that towards the bottom of that label. And place the ribbon down. It looks like I've got one bigger. Can I pull that? I guess it's not going to. And also, to add a little bling to that, we're going to place some pearls on those flowers. And I'm going to take the putty end of my take your pick tool. And I'm going to grab some of the small pearls. I need to put another order in for pearls. I'm getting down to the bottom here. And one more small one. Okay, press those, make sure they're on there good. So here's the outside of our card. So let's do the inside. And I've got a strip of that Designer Series paper, and that measures, what was it? 1/2 inch by 4 inches, 4 1/8 inches. I'm just going to glue that to the bottom of our inside of our card. And take a little bit of the party to the inside of the card. Stick my fingers in all the glue here. And we're just going to place that at the bottom. Okay, I don't think that was... Four 1/8. Okay, the card is 4 1/4, but the little strip is 4 1/8 by 1/2 inch. It doesn't go quite to the edges. And we're going to bring in our sentiment, which is, "Oh, you really are the best." And we'll bring back our black Memento ink. And we'll stamp that right in the middle. Okay. I think I had some ink smudge right there. I might have to take my eraser and get that off. I think I had some ink on my fingers here. So there's our Hippest Hippo card. Love you a ton. Ah, you really are the best. So that's our second project. Oh wow, Amber. You're going to have to go back and watch the replay. Okay, so the next one is using the Wonderful World stamp set. And with that stamp set, you get the stamp set and the paper with a $100 purchase, and that's called Wonderful World Designer Series paper. And it's very pretty. We used this last week, I think, on our Facebook Live, where I just cut out the flowers. But we're just going to use the stamp set today. And let me reach over here and get everything that I need. Alright, we already used that. So here's the card that we're going to be making. And I'm using the 2022 to 2024 in color designer series paper, the 6x6. I'm using the Scallop Contours dies. Let me get everything out here so we can concentrate. I'm using the in color Orchid Oasis metallic woven ribbon for our bow. And I'm using the brushed brass butterflies for our embellishments. And for our card base, it's the Orchid Oasis, and it's just our basic size. It's a 5.5 by 8.5, and scored in the middle at 4 1/4 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish that edge while I've got that in my hand. And the inside is just our basic white, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then I've got a strip of the designer series paper that's going to go on the inside, which is a 1/2 inch by 4 inches. And we're just going to set that aside for now. And then our designer series paper is, well, did I not have directions? There they are. They're hiding. So the designer series paper is 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And then I had another piece of the Orchid Oasis. Well, this is the Starry Sky I'm using. It's kind of a contrast. And that's 3/4 inches by 4 1/8 inches. And the designer series paper, the other side of that, is 5/8 inches by 4 1/8 inches. So we're going to set that aside. We're going to, well, let's go ahead and glue this down to our card front, and then we'll get on to our stamping. So, using our liquid glue again, our Tombow, we're going to attach that to our card front. Let me set that aside. And get that even, hopefully. All right. And I'm going to glue these two together, and I'm going to just set them aside for a moment. We'll do our stamping first. And I'm just going to leave a tiny border at the top and the bottom, and the sides are going to meet up with each other. Oops, a little bit of extra glue there. And I'm going to snip off just a tiny bit. I've got a little bit of a hangover. Alright, we're going to set that aside. And let's get to our stamping. I've already die cut our basic white using that scalloped edged die. And we're going to stamp our flower. I'm going to put a scrap paper underneath me so I keep my surface a little clean. Move some things out of the way here. And I'm using the Orchid Oasis stamp set to stamp our flower. I need to get the markers for the end colors, because then I could just do 2 different colors on the one stamp, but I hadn't got those yet. So we're going to do a little trick here to kind of cover it up a little bit. So we're going to stamp that onto our scalloped. And then I've got some leaves here. We're going to stamp using the Parakeet Party. Close that up so I don't get my fingers into it. And I'm just going to stamp some green leaves to kind of disguise those a little bit. Bring a little bit of green in. And maybe another one right there to kind of cover it a little bit. Okay. So we have that done. We're going to put that up on dimensionals. And I take your pick tool again to pop those off. And I'm just going to put in the 4 corners. Well, that stuck to my finger. Okay. So I'm going to set that aside for a moment. And we're going to stamp our sentiment, which is thinking of you. And bring our ink back over here. Well, no, I'm going to use the Orchid Oasis. I'm almost goofed here. And make sure I've got a good impression. And hope I can stamp this straight. I'm kind of away from it. I can't look right over it, but it looks good. And we're going to snip that one end off. And we're going to place it dimensionals underneath that also. Getting a frog in my throat. Alright, give me 2 more here. No, I didn't cut those yet. So we'll go over to these instead. And 1 more in the middle to help support it. Okay, so we're going to start assembling our card. And I can get rid of this scrap paper. And we're just going to glue that directly down to our card front. Make sure I've got an opening right. And I'm going to kind of place it just a little bit below center. And I'm hoping that's straight. Let me see here. Kind of go with my grid paper and see. It looks pretty good. And then we're going to put our flower down. And we're going to kind of put that off to the side. Okay, like so. And then our sentiment at the bottom. I have to get my broom later. I'm missing the wastebasket here, and the dimensional backings are landing on the floor. But you seem to find those everywhere you go. It seems like they follow you. Alright, so that's our card front. Now we're going to go ahead and attach our bow. And I'm using one of my glue dots that come with our paper pumpkins. They're a little bit smaller than the regular mini glue dots. So I kind of like to use them when I've got a tiny bow. And I did a double bow. So see where my glue dot is there. I couldn't see it. So I don't know if you can tell. That's a double bow. Let me kind of spread it apart a little bit. Okay. And I like this ribbon because you can fringe the edges of it, the ends. So it kind of gives a little extra additive to your card. And I'm going to use the brush butterflies. And I'm using the... am I using the larger ones? I guess I'm using the larger ones. Couldn't decide if I wanted the small ones or the large ones. So these come in two sizes, a large and then a small. And we're going to place two there. And I don't know, do I want one down here maybe? I think I'll put that one over there. He fell over there. Must be a good place for him. And another one over here on the strip. Okay. Move that out of the way. And I didn't put a sentiment on the inside. I thought maybe we just leave that blank in case you wanted to write a note. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this strip of Designer Series paper to the inside of our card. And then I'll glue our basic white to the inside of our card. I'm not sure, did I mention that this is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and then the strip is 1/2 inch by 4 inches. And I guess I cut that a little bit too big, so we're going to snip off the excess. And we'll glue that to the inside of our card. And then you can write just a little note, or you can, if you have a sentiment that you wanted to use in there, you could put that in there too. But I'm just leaving it blank because I think it's going to be a place for me to write a note to somebody that's needing a little something extra. Okay, so there we have our third card. Let me put my cap on my glue here, and we'll bring all these back over. Move some things out of the way a little bit. And our note cards here. Kind of cleaning off my surface here as I go. Hoping I can fit all these in the frame. Okay, I guess I could move this up just a tiny bit, and then maybe I can get all this last one in there. Okay, so there's our cards for today. I hope you enjoyed them. Thank you, Becky. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of showcase all the Sale-a-Bration items because we are getting on to the end of the month again, so it'll be here before we know. And I wanted to make sure everybody had a chance and were able to get the free items that they wanted to. So I'm going to be back here next Wednesday, which will be August 17th. So I'm going to try staying at the 10:30 time. Does that work for everybody? 10:30 Central Time? If not, we can go back to the 10 o'clock. And I think, like I said, next week I'm not going to put the camera on my face to start with. I'm just going to have it already pointed down to my table, and hopefully I won't have any issues that way. So I don't know why it gives me fits when I move the camera, but it does. I don't know what it is. So I'm going to let everybody go. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I hope you're able to get some crafting time in. And I'll see you next Wednesday, 10:30 Central Time. That'd be Wednesday the 17th, August 17th. So until then, glad you were here. Bye.